Great. I'm joined now by a friend, Jaymi. I've worn the same shirt as her wall, just to blend in. Jaymi has recently been through this coronavirus thing. You can see that she's fit and well, and she's with us now. So great to see you, Jaymi.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about how you are, how you're feeling, and what this last couple of weeks have been like for you.
So I feel great now, feel really, really good. The only thing that's left is I've got no taste or smell and a slight burning sensation at the back of my nose. So initially, I just felt a little bit tired, a bit run down. Then I started to think that I might be unwell. So I phoned my work, who arranged for me to have a test for coronavirus. So the test was done on Tuesday last week. So by then I was feeling sort of weak, very, very cold and aching all over. So I thought, I've probably got it. So I drove to the test centre, tested me, and then by Wednesday, I tested positive for COVID-19. So I was then told I had to stay off work for 7 days, and then report back. So by then I was absolutely floored. So I was in bed. And it's just that kind of coldness running through you, and my chest was incredibly tight. So it was difficult. It was very heavy, so it's difficult to breathe. To actually draw in air, you felt like when you were taking a breath, it was like breathing in hot smoke. That's the way that I described it to everybody. So it was very sore to breathe, and I was just completely flattened by it. So I was in bed for a good couple of days, feeling very not hot at all, no coughing. I coughed a couple of times, but then gradually it's sort of eased off now to a point where I'm up and about and well in myself.
And you're feeling well now. You're like
I feel absolutely great. I was saying earlier, I was running around my kitchen yesterday dancing, so I feel absolutely fantastic now.
Fantastic. You managed to get a test. You mentioned then because you're a sister in a local NHS hospital. Clearly that brings its own level of complications with your workplace, your colleagues, and we've been praying. Everyone's been clapping on the doorstep for you and for others like you who've just been doing a phenomenal job. Tell us what that looks like then for you now, about to go back. You've come out of it for a little while, going back in. What does your work entail in this weird season?
So normally I'm a sister in the day surgery unit, which has theatres, and we do minor operations where you're in the morning and you're home in the afternoon. So it's quite a nice little job. And I've got quite a small team of nurses. So they've cancelled now all elective surgery. So we have ceased to operate from about a month ago. So now we've all been redeployed to medical wards within the hospital, and some of my colleagues who have got more critical care skills have gone to intensive care in Morriston. So I was put onto the medical admissions unit in Neath Talbot, which is a brand new ward with all different staff, and we are going to be looking after, and we have been looking after, patients who are tested positive for coronavirus who are not suitable for ventilation. So a lot of them are very elderly. They've already been in hospital for certain things, and we thought initially that they were going to be palliative care, so end of life care. But when we started getting them, they were absolutely fantastic. Had a 98-year-old lady who we managed to discharge up to another ward. She was absolutely fantastic, and a few patients who we've managed to discharge straight home as well. So it has been fantastic. We haven't had any deaths yet actually there, which has been amazing. So there's 17 beds there, and I'm going to be, when I go back, I'm going to be doing night shifts, which I've never done. And then, so I'm not a sister down there. I'm gone down there as a staff nurse because I can't be in charge of that area because I don't have much of an idea what I'm doing.
So, just to fill us all with so if what does like nursing look like for in this sort of season? How do you you know, we've seen on TV nurses masked up, we've seen PPE and gloves and visors and all that stuff. How do you care for people where touch and smile and face and all of those things, the natural things that you would ordinarily do? How do you do that in this season?
We didn't really think of it actually until we were in it. So the first time I put all my PPE on and went into the bay, I was, you know, thinking, oh gosh, they can't hear me properly. They can't see we forget we actually communicate a lot with, you know, lip reading without knowing. They can't see my expression. So it was really difficult at first. And I was thinking, oh gosh, but as nurses, we can overcome things like that quite easily. So we've got little whiteboards where we can write things on, but we do touch people and give comfort to people. And, you know, one lady was feeling, you know, not very well for a couple of days in her late 90s. We went in and we saw a little corner of a smile with her after a couple of days. And I said, oh, should we do a little dance, and sort of a funny dance? And she laughed, and it was really nice. And we've still got that sense of humour, that we're known for having quite a weird sense of humour, nurses, and patients absolutely love just bringing a little bit of normality into their lives. And we're able to touch people and give them comfort, full of PPE. And these people, they're not lepers. It's not, you know, people are recoiling when they're hearing somebody's got coronavirus or they've had it. As a trained medical professional, there's absolutely no fear with these patients whatsoever. As a Christian, there's absolutely no fear whatsoever of this disease. It's not anything to be afraid of as far as I'm concerned. I'm not, and it's not me being sort of arrogant or anything like that. It's that we've got a peace that comes from Jesus. And for these people, they are frightened, and it's about us trying to transfer that peace to them and just show them love and loving people that nobody else wants to be near. And it's an absolute privilege as a nurse to be able to go in to these people at their absolute worst, when nobody else, they can't see their family, they can't see, you know, even they can't see our faces. And every now and again, we can sort of bang on the glass and give a little wave to them or make a silly face because they can see us without our PPE there. So that's a nice thing to be able to do as well, just to make them smile, but just to show them love, really. And that's I
like to the sort of untrained ear maybe, but like, you know, nurses care for people. They're brilliant and just phenomenal people in that profession working. But you're talking there about loving patients as well. Like, you know, that's a big word compared to just caring for people. And you mentioned then about like being a Christian and what the difference that is making in your nursing. So to sort of like, I don't know, wrap this up in a sense, but how does being a follower of Jesus, how does someone who like loves Jesus as you do, how does that affect your outlook in nursing, and how you're going to go back now in the next couple of days? What does that make any difference? Does your faith in Jesus make any difference to your nursing?
It makes a massive difference. I mean, I don't think that I'd have got as far in my career without being a follower of Jesus. I think I would have been broken by now. It's the last couple of years in nursing has been very difficult, and this crisis probably couldn't have come at a worse time actually for the NHS. However, being a follower of Jesus, being able to pray every day before I go into work, and sometimes when I'm feeling like you can get absolutely boiling hot in PP, or just, you know, in work in general, when I'm feeling, or somebody's a bit sharp or don't know what to do, because nurses, people see us as we know everything, or we can do everything, we can fix everything, and that's not the case. Sometimes we're frightened or we're worried, and we can't let that show. But as a follower of Jesus, just having the peace that goes beyond all understanding, that is absolutely amazing to feel. That walking into what a lot of people have described as a war zone, having that absolute peace and that calmness, and when other people around you are worried, it's just having that absolute knowledge that somebody else is going before you and they are always with you. And it is you pray and Jesus almost gives you the answers as you're there, and you don't know exactly what to do, but it's just having that peace about you. And like I said, being able to love people. Before I was a Christian, I was quite an unlovable person. I was still a nurse, and I always cared for people, but there is a difference. And being able to love somebody as a Christian, even when they're being unlovable, because as doctors and nurses, we come across people all the time who are quite unlovable. A patient who had dementia the other day was sort of swearing at me and goodness knows what, and it's just that being able to look past that and to be able to love people, it does make you a better nurse. For me, it is as my profession is as much of my personality as anything else. I've always done it, but being a Christian, it just enhances everything, just makes us such better carers. And for me, being able to show people something in this really dark time, being able to show them that little glimmer of light, which just comes from a smile, on your face. And there's a different kind of joy that comes from being a Christian. For me, where I used to be absolutely filled with just rage and anger, and we always talk about, how when I got saved, I heard the song Amazing Grace, and the word wretch hit me, just absolutely floored me. When I think about how absolutely wretched I was, and how now that's been replaced with just absolute joy and a light that it doesn't come from me, it doesn't come from here, it comes from here, because that's where Jesus lives. He lives in my heart. And for me, it's a joy that comes without me thinking about it. And I know other people see it as well. And for a patient, when I put my hand on them, to know there's nothing special about me at all, but to know that Jesus' love, God's love comes onto them from that is phenomenal. That's something that I can feel coming out from me, because it can only come from him. It doesn't come me personally. My heart, was about as black as it gets. I was absolutely wretched is the only word I can say. When I look back, I'm a completely different person to how I was. But apart from God, that's who I am. I know that I'm, I'm not a good person. I need Jesus with me. So to have that walking into this situation is amazing.
Wow.
It's absolutely amazing.
And so thanks for this, Jaymi. It's been great chatting to you, and to you and all your colleagues at 8 o'clock on Thursday. And now we applaud you, bang our drums or whatever. Maybe just is there one thing that we can continue to be praying for as we clap? As we're clapping, we're praying as well, many of us. Is there one thing that you'd like us to be praying for, you and your colleagues?
I think if we can pray for the management side of things, in the sense of we've got the nurses, even though we're a bit short sometimes, we've got the people there, boots on the ground, caring for people, doing a fantastic job. But I think it's about the management making wise decisions with the resources and the staffing that we have, and with the patients that we have, to put people where they're supposed to be. That's my biggest prayer at this time, because unfortunately with the NHS there's a lot of managers and they all do a great job, but sometimes the communication's not great. So in this time, I think I'm praying for the government, the health secretary, to make the correct decisions. There's been a bit of hoo-ha about the ventilators of late, and I think we can pray for the right people doing the right things when they're supposed to. And
brilliant.
And that's it, really.
And that is what we'll do. So thanks for that, and really appreciate your time, and look forward to seeing you hopefully
Thank you.
soon. Thanks, Jaymi. Thank you.